Hello everyone, welcome to the OAG RC. I'm Craig and thank you for joining me today on an unboxing video. I haven't done one of these for a while, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go, but we're going to give it a go anyway. I've had this sat in my collection now for probably about 2 years or so, and I didn't really know when I wanted to build it. Next season on the Orchard Raceway, we're going to be breaking the cars down into classifications, and this is going to sit in our vintage four-wheel drive collection, along with the Hot Shot and the Thunder Dragon. And I thought, well, this really for me was probably right at the tail end originally when this came out, of me being into RC. So I remember it, but I don't really remember it enough. And I've always been intrigued by it. And when I got back into RC, it was probably a year before this particular re-release came out, and everybody was talking about Top Force Evos. And I don't know whether it didn't sell particularly well on that re-release, but I managed to pick this up going back a good 2 years, really. Maybe even more than that now. I picked this up on a really good deal. I was really pleased with the price I paid for it. Which is why it's on the channel. And otherwise I wouldn't have looked at getting this particular model. So, shall we lift off the lid and let's look at what we get in the box, and let's have a little chat about what it is we're planning on doing with the build. Now, this particular camera over here, hi there, has basically got the shot of the side of the box. And what I'll try and do is, as any interesting parts come out, if I want to show anything close up, I'll show it down here with the backdrop of the box. And then you guys can see me pulling the main events out of the box at the top here. So, it packages, I mean, compared to Tamiya's today, this is quite nice. It's not a blister pack, but no, it's all right. It's reasonable, I suppose. Nice big box over here, which feels quite heavy. We'll get to that at the end. Now, this one comes with a pre-painted body, which lots of people, I'm not going to try and get it out, it's stapled in there. Lots of people would whinge about the fact that you can't change the colour. I'm really pleased that this is a pre-painted body. And I'll tell you for why. Because I don't really fancy painting a body at the moment. And the fact that it's already done for me means I can pretty much just crack on with it. Now, what I haven't looked at is what the wing is like, and that is also pre-painted at the back of there. See that? Well, that's good news. We've got some standard Tamiya off-road tyres. Now, it would not be right to have an unboxing video without a good old tyre sniff, so I've broken the seal there, see? Oh, very good. Yeah, very good vintage they are. Very nice. Actually, they're quite nice. I hadn't appreciated that they were thinner tyres on the front than on the rear. I'm just trying to look now whether that is standard for all Tamiya four-wheel drive models, of which I can see two in front of me. The Hot Shot, yes, had different wheels on the front. Thunder Dragon did not. And I can't help but think that the TTO2 had the same front and rears. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Usually am. Cool. Like those tyres. Very good. Very nice. I'll just put those back in there for safekeeping. Look at those fluorescent orange wheels. Look at those. Similar to what's on the TTO2, those star wheels, aren't they? So maybe I am talking out my rear end, and maybe the TTO2 did have different front and rear tyres. Drop a note in the comments if I don't know what I'm talking about. Now, what I have picked up for this is some Zoom models, stainless steel hex screws. And the reason I picked those up is because back when I was looking to build this, I was thinking, wouldn't it be really nice if I hexed all the hardware? And they did a nice little set Now, I probably got myself really convinced that that was the same as titanium screws, and it's not, of course. But they are stainless steel, and I do think that hopefully with them being hex hardware, that's going to give the model a bit more life going in and out the screws if you need to repair in any way, shape or form. I think that'll be good. Can't remember how much I paid for those, but they were reasonably priced. It was a bit enough in the first place. We're going to unbag some of the plastic parts as we go along. Just see what we've got. There's a gearbox. And some gearbox covers. Looks like a motor mount. So that's a damper stay of some sort, if I was a betting man. Well, I'm surprised that if it is, no, it can't be, can it? You never really know what you're looking at until you get to the instructions, do you? There's definitely some uprights. Servo saver. More drive covers, damper stay, another gearbox, and hex nuts as well. Ah, this is interesting. So in here, I believe it's all the pieces to make up the arms at the front and the rear, and they're in two pieces, and they sort of go together. When I first saw this, that surprised me, and I thought it was a very strange design, but I'm sure that there is reason for their madness, as I will find out as we build. Various different parts, looks like steering mechanism parts, parts of the servo saver maybe. Definitely a different quality to the entry-level models, as you would well expect. It's a bag of smaller plastic parts in here, lots of gears, lots of diffs. Oh, you know how much I love playing around with a ball diff. Looks like that's what we've got in here. Nice little red bits at the front for the steering. Bag of spur gears, and those look like the internal parts of a diff. Looks interesting. I don't know what those are. See those? Those parts there. Interestingly. So yes, we've got two ball diffs. Look, and some looks like thrust bearings as well in there. They're going to be fun, aren't they? Get all this out. I'll put this in the way of my sort of close-up cam. I've realised that's no good, is it? Front bumper, that's quite nice. Feels good quality. Some shock parts on there. Very nice. Some more gears, quite a lot of gears actually there, and I don't quite understand what they're all for. Spacers for the CVAs, some more parts of the CVA shocks there. They look like they're going to be quite meaty. Now, I remember the high caps on this one are very similar, I think. We shall see, eh? Right, I'm going to move the main box out, and we'll get this one out separately. How about that? Make a bit of space. Hokey cokey. So in here we've got chassis plate and the top plate. I have considered getting a saddle pack to go into this. Mainly because that's the way the chassis would have been designed in the first place. So for ideal distribution of weight, it'd be really good to have 3 saddles on either side. I think you can mount the battery straight across if you want as well, but I might see if I can get a reasonably priced saddle pack, which of course will only ever be running this particular model. Bag A. What are the chances of these coming out in order? Slim. B, C, and D. And E. Oh, now look at those. Shock. We'll come to those in a minute. F. Nice. And a nice 540 motor inside. Silver can. Nothing wrong with that as far as I am concerned. So, bag A. Come over here, use the close-up cam as we talk through these. So we've got bearings, which is nice to see. Looks like we've got motor plate in there, some tools, grease, ball bearings. Obviously we get started on the diff. There's some diff plates and covers and stuff in there as well. It's going to be really interesting to see how this diff here compares to the one that I did on the Madcap restore that I did, because they must have been, in terms of timeline, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but they must have all been pretty close together. So the diff must have been developing, the ball diff must have been developing for Tamiya as it went through there. So be interesting to see how they compare. There's a big gear in there of some sort, isn't there? I'm sure we'll work out what that's for. It's probably for one of the lace shafts or something similar. Now, I thought earlier that I saw what looked like suspension stays, but in here, there's a great big carbon one with loads of adjustment on it. Look how many different places you can position those shocks. That's going to be very interesting, isn't it? More ball bearings, lots of turnbuckles in there, and also some rods. That could be for the arms at the front, maybe. We're surprised if we're building shocks that early on. No, we're not. Some more diff covers there by the looks of it. Some out drives. Now, interesting, yeah, interesting. Those out drives there. See those? They're very similar to the ones that were in the Mad Bull. Different size, probably. So I didn't notice that they were a replacement part for it. Be interesting if anyone knows whether I'm going to have any problems with the diffs in here. It does worry me slightly when I see ball diffs, if I'm honest, because I've got scars on that front already with the Cougar and also with the Madcap rebuilds. We've got another carbon fibre damper snake in there, and then we've also got some other bits and pieces that look like we're going to do in the front end of the car in that bag. Drive shafts are in there as well. Are they universals? Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, they are. Universal drive shafts, that's good. Nice. This has got an awful lot going for it, this particular model. Those look beautiful. Now they are some sort of high caps. Look at the size of those bloody springs. They're massive. They're going to be some super, super good shocks, I think. Hopefully, this model's going to make absolute mincemeat out of the Orchard Raceway. Glide round, like there's nothing there. And then in here, we've still got even more ball bearings, some more hardware, ties, foams. These are the finishing touches. Bag F is it's all coming together. You're nearly there. You're on the home stretch. There's also a great big, almost looks like a screwdriver. No, that's the drive shaft, isn't it? Is that the drive shaft? Surely not. Or maybe it is. It looks like, well, if that's the drive shaft, I'm surprised, but it looks like the end of a screwdriver. Did you see that? Very surprising. Right. And of course, just nice up close up at the motor as well. Always love a nice brand new silver can. There's plenty of people that don't, but now when I get to the end of a unboxing, I always think it's really nice to sort of stop and take a look at the flat stuff, the decals, which actually are really, really nice. I find them quite striking actually. Some nice additional decals at the back. Wonder if they'll be going on anywhere or whether they're on the front somewhere. Very, very nice. Looking forward. I'm looking forward to building this. Really looking forward to building this. Just realised putting those back in the box, I missed something. So you also get an under tray to protect the chassis, which is a great addition. So that does need to be cut out. So the top is cut out for you. The under tray needs to be trimmed, and then but they've pre-drilled it, which is nice. So on the one that I got for the Madcap, it wasn't pre-drilled. It created all sorts of problems for me. So that should be really slick to put that together. And then let's have a little page turn, shall we? So, what have we got? First of all, first thing it needs you to do is to glue something together, which you need some synthetic rubber cement. Now, I have no idea. I still don't know today what is best to use. Someone said to me shoe glue or shoe goo or something along those lines. I'm going to have to go and have a little look at the type of thing that I need to buy for this, because you have to do that step before you can jump ahead. And I think that actually is one of the further later bags as well, so you have to do that bit twice. Then we're building a ball diff, which has got a huge amount of steps to it. Look forward to doing that as always. Into the gearbox. Motor gets mounted up pretty early on. That goes into, that must be the rear gearbox then. Some drive shafts off the spur gear, that all goes together nicely. Tie rods onto the damper stay. Rear universals. There are the assembly of the lower arms, look. Then it's bag C, where you come to gluing again. Another ball diff. Similar setup. Now, interestingly here, choose between a one-way gear and a counter gear. Do a bit of research there. I don't understand what the difference is. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments before my build starts, and I'll discuss whether or not I should be going for a one-way or a counter gear. Then we're going to be putting together the front arms, or sorry, the front adjustables with the stays, front universals, building up the front arms. It all slots together. So you're building the front and the rear of the chassis. Build up some shocks. Those beautiful shocks. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Looking forward. I'm really looking forward to making those. They're going to be really nice to see how they go together. I suppose the nicest Tamiya shocks I've built so far. Probably the ones on the XV02, which I've subsequently sold. But they were really, really nice shocks that went together really nicely. The ones on the Madcap were nice as well. Yeah. Those are the best Tamiya ones I've done. I still have these to put on something. I haven't decided what yet. We've got those to go on. They look nice as well. They come in a nice set too. So there are some nice Tamiya shocks around there. But these look really super nice. Big board as well. So they should be really interested to see how they go. I'm going to build the plate, the chassis plate goes down. They're familiar to me. We had those on the Madcap when I did this jute tray on it. Interesting that the steering mechanism in this is the way it is. But at least it's got some bearings in it, that's good. And then the rear gets mounted up. The front gets mounted up. Yeah, and there's that funny slotted drive shaft, which surprises me, but those are the instructions, that's what they were running. Yeah, bumper goes on. Servo mounted up. Step 41 is testing your electronics. We've got all the way through all that, and usually that's first step in a Tamiya set of instructions. Get the electronics mounted. See, they all go towards the front, and the battery's in behind it. There's a big chunk of weight in the middle of this chassis, which should keep it really nicely balanced. Upper deck goes on for strengthening. Tyres on. Cut out your under tray, stick that down. And then it goes, oh no, you've got to cut your body out. No, you don't, you've already got it. Stick your decals on. And then let her rip. Let her rip. Looks good. Looks really simple, actually. Looks really straightforward. Not too much in there that concerns me, really. I suppose the question is do I use that hex hardware? Or do I just go with standard stuff? Don't know. Can't decide. Decisions. Not bad problems to have, really, when you're building a top Force Evo in the next couple of weeks, is it? Let me know your thoughts on what you think I should do about the one-way or the counter gear. That's a good one. Let me know if any of you have got any feedback on the diffs, which does leave me a little bit worried to see how close they are to design in the madcap. I wonder whether there are lots of people who start having real problems with their ball diffs in their top Force Evos as they go forward. And whether people, because I'm not going to be putting silly brushless motors through this. I'm going to be running it on a silver can. We might get up to sport tuned over the years, but if it drives nicely around the Orchard Raceway, why do I want to mess about and change it up? What's the point? Why make it ridiculously overpowered and overspec'd on a really short garden course? It doesn't make any sense. So maybe I'll be all right, but maybe there's a gear alternative that someone could suggest for me. Let me know your thoughts. I am really looking forward to building this. I've heard good things about it. Do you think it's going to be a contender on the Orchard Raceway? It's going to be going up against the Hot Shot and the Thunder Dragon, so I would hope it's going to outrun those two because it came a couple of years later in the timeline. Certainly the Top Force did. The Evo was probably even further behind than that. Is it going to keep up with an Optima Mid, which we've also got to build this year? Interesting debates, eh? Anyway, enough. This is long enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon on the OAG RC. Bye!